So there's not a lot you can buy for £6 these days. You can maybe get a couple of coffees, a bit of cake if you're lucky, or you could get this £6 soldering kit from AliExpress. I was quite surprised to see it quite so cheap, so I thought I'd order one and just check out if it even works. So I think we should just head over to the workshop and dive straight into the project. So here's the board we're going to be soldering onto. Well, seems to be pretty good quality actually for £6. Going to solder in these resistors here. So these are the three 10k ones. So I'm just going to bend the legs. That'll just help us get them set into position properly. Slot them in, bend the legs over, add a bit of flux, and then we can bring the soldering iron and get them soldered into place. I'm not going to show every time I flux everything up because it would get very repetitive, but you can assume every time I solder, I've added some flux. Anyway, let's add in the next one and repeat the process. So I'm just sort of holding the soldering iron in place for about 3 seconds before I bring the solder in, just to try and get enough heat into the pad, and trying to aim for a nice dome rather than a mountain. But I'm certainly no pro, so this isn't really a soldering how-to guide, just more of a is this kit fun to make guide. And so far, quite enjoying it. Anyway, let's remove them legs, and then we can move on to the last capacitor, which I think is 100 microfarad. If you can, you should solder in a well-ventilated area, or ideally have a extractor fan that you can use. I've just picked one up off of Amazon. It was about £30, I think, and just helps suck away those nasty fumes. Now it's time to solder in the USB port, so I'm just going to add a bit of solder to the top here. This should help hold it in place. There we go. Now we can flip it over and just pin it in place with the pins underneath. Just going to add a little bit more solder. There we go. Now I'm going to solder in place 3 ceramic capacitors. They're 102 ones, and they're quite clearly labelled on the board, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding where they go. Anyway, let's solder that in place for the first one. Snip, snip, and then we can move on to the next two. Now I'm going to add in the 104 ceramic capacitors. I think there's 2 of these we're going to put in, so let's solder the first one in place. There we go. Now we can move on to the second one. Oh, just snip these off first. There we go. There's the second one. This sits underneath where the main processor is going to go. And now it's time to solder in this little socket here, so I'm just going to slot that in. Just want to make sure the notch lines up with the notch that's printed on the board. And you can see here I've just bent the legs over a little bit. This just helps keep the socket in place while I solder it in. I actually switched the tip of my soldering iron and moved to a leaded solder, just so I could reduce the heat that I was putting into the board, because at one point it looked like I might actually have damaged one of the pads. Luckily it was okay, but I just wanted to take a precaution of using some lower melt solder, just so I wasn't putting so much heat into the board. Next, time to solder in the larger socket. I think this is 40 pin. Again, we want to line up the notch with the notch that's on the socket, so let's just slot that in place. Again, I'm just going to bend over a couple of the pins. This will just help hold it in place while I solder it, so that it sits nice and flush. It's not compulsory to do that, but I just found it helped. Anyway, let's speed through a little soldering montage. let's give it a bit of a clean, get rid of all that flux. Now I'm going to fit a 10 microfarad capacitor in here. Just want to make sure you get your positives and negatives the right way around. For me, the positive leg was the longer one. But anyway, let's get these soldered in place. And you may have noticed I also bent it over. This is because it will be sitting underneath the chip. So you want to make sure that it has enough clearance. Next we'll do the 1 microfarad one, goes into C3. Again, I'm going to bend this over. And then let's solder it in place. Now I've got 3 100 microfarad capacitors I'm putting in, so let's get the first one in, get that soldered in place, and then I'll be repeating the process with the next 2. So I'm going to leave you here for a mo, and I'll see you when those 3 are done. Now it's time to pop all the buttons in, so these should just slide into these holes here. And now we can come in with our soldering iron and get these pinned into place. Oh, actually missed a couple down here, let's just do them now. Now it's time to add in the potentiometer, so we're just going to slide those 3 pins into there. Now just pin that into place. Just bring in a bit of solder over on my iron, just so that it doesn't move around. There we go. Now I've done that, I'm just going to come in with a little bit of extra solder, just to make sure the joints are nice and strong. Now we can add the transistor, so that just slides into there. Again, another 3 pins. Oh, yep, there we go. Just slide that down. And again, we can just come in with a soldering iron and solder that into place. Again, I bent the pins over just a little bit just to help hold it down. Now it's time to add the screens, and you see here there's like a serial number. You want to have that facing towards the bottom, and it should just slide in. Apart from this one, look, all my legs are pretty bent, so I'm just going to straighten these up now. Looking a bit better. Not perfect, but looking a bit better. Hopefully they won't be too difficult to fit. There we go. Yeah, got it. Now we can just come in, add the solder, get these in place. All coming together quite nicely now, isn't it? Not a lot left to do. Now we can do the same with the numerical display. Just make sure your points are at the bottom. You don't want your numbers upside down. Now we can come in and solder those. Let's just give it another clean. It's all getting rather sticky, so I'm just using IPA. Just dry it off a little bit. Now it's time to add the chips. So let's add the smaller one first, and just make sure the notch on the chip lines up with the notch on the socket. And now we can add the larger chip as well. You can see why now we bent over that capacitor and resistor so that the chip can fit in properly. Now let's pop the caps on top of the buttons. They just click on. Now you can add the battery terminals, and you just want to make sure the springs go into the right positions, unlike me who put them in wrong and didn't notice till the end. But assuming you put your battery terminals in correct, you now need to solder in the cables that go to the power on the motherboard. So let's just add a bit of solder to the terminals. This is applied to the positive and negative single terminals at each end of the battery box. Now we can add the wire. So I'm going to use red for positive, and I'm going to use the black for the negative. There we go. And then we can just solder the wires onto the corresponding points on the motherboard. Let's just tin those points up. And now we can just add the wires on. So black to negative. Oh, we got it. Quite. Let's try again. I think I got it. Yeah, got it this time. And red for positive. Oops. Keeps moving. I think I got it this time. There we go. Now we've got it. That's pretty secure. Now let's turn our attention to the speaker. So again, I'm just going to add a bit of solder to the points on the speaker, and then I'm going to add the wire to those. There we go. I'm not sure if it really matters which way around the wire goes. And then you can solder the wires back onto the motherboard at these points. It's labelled up as speaker, so it's easy to see. I actually forgot to record this bit, so just doing this again, just to demonstrate where the wires should be soldered. Now we can add the speaker. It should just be a push fit and slot into the space nicely. It's just pressure, so just make sure it clicks down, otherwise it will just fall out. Then we can add in the main board. Let's remove the film from the dot matrix. There we go. Then we can add the outer shell and screw it all in. Now it's time just to add some batteries and see if it actually works. Right, let's just do the finishing touches, pop the back cover on, screw that down in place, and let's see if it switches on. Nice, it's all working, fantastic. Not bad for £6. So who would have thought it actually works? Pretty pleased with this. But anyway, if you enjoyed that project, why don't you check out this video over here where I build a Pac-Man kit that I picked up off of Etsy, and hopefully I'll see you next time. So take care of yourselves and goodbye.